we have an interesting guest in the house that makes what almost every lady can do without on her wedding day. Yes. I'm talking about Lois. Hi, Lois. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Now, Lois is into beads making.
Yes, I am.
Why beads making, Lois? How did this all start?
Well, it started as something to
like
do
a hobby, like most people. When I ask them, because maybe when their job is not forthcoming,
exactly,
and,
that was what happened.
Let me start something,
and then somewhere along the line, I fell in love with beads. I fell in love with making beads, making jewelry. That was how it continued.
How long have you been in the business of beads making?
Officially, about 2 years.
So how's the journey been so far?
Very interesting, hectic, stressful.
Really? Does bead making have challenges?
Oh, yes, it does.
I just think you just go to the market, buy your materials, come back home, and just,
you have
fixing.
to get proper materials. You have to look for very good finishings. You have to spend time on your design. You want it to look perfect. You want it to look elegant. And I don't just sell beads. I sell class, confidence, and style. So I have to factor all of those into my designs, into my creation.
Now, you said something about materials. For, a simple bead, what are the basic materials to, start up with?
Well, the most common kind of materials I'll advise anybody who is just starting to use is crystals. They are very nice. Hopefully, you won't be cheated, or they won't sell you fake materials because they are imitations of.
Has that happened to you while starting?
Yes, when I started, I had to walk around the market looking for.
How do you know the difference between a fake bead and the original
bead?
Because sometimes they look so confusing when I go to the market, and because they shine, so you don't even know which stone is more.
Yeah,
how do you differentiate
that it depends on the kind of bead that you're using. So for a bead like pearls, for example, the holes are very tiny. That's how you know that this pearl is original. Also, pearls don't peel. So if you take a bead, but you have to be careful so they don't catch you. And then you try to scratch it a bit. Yeah, if it peels, it's an imitation. Doesn't mean that it won't last, but it won't last as long as the original will. And it might not give you the perfect finish that you're looking for.
Now, when creating your designs, how do you get your designs? Is it according to when you see, for fashion, maybe when you see a material and you're like, oh, I think this would be fine with a skirt or a dress. For beads, how is it like? How do you get your designs? Is it when you see your materials, your beads, and you be like, okay, I'm going to do 3 layers, I'm going to make it a choker? How do you guys, The
designs depends on a number of factors. Sometimes you might be inspired by nature. Sometimes you might be inspired by another bead maker's work. Sometimes it might be the personality of the person you're trying to create a piece for. So you have some people who like their things very simple, very classy. So you have to factor that in the kind of beads you use, the kind of style you do, and all of those things.
Talking about the kind of beads and stones, what kind of stones do you like using from your own experience? I know you have, I like to do this kind of stones, What kind of stones do you use?
Right now, I have amazing love for pearls, for corals, for agate kind of beads, and for angel skin.
Okay. Now let's divert into. She actually came with her beautiful pieces, guys. So we're going to be talking about them. Let's go with this first. I love this. When I saw this, actually, my mind just went to a bride, because red and all of that. This is a very beautiful piece. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
How many minutes did it take you to put out all this?
Minutes.
Okay.
Not minutes.
Hours.
It was like 3 hours.
Okay, so that means you can actually make it in a day.
Yes, some pieces you can make in a day, but there are some pieces that you will try to break it down so that you're not overworked. And then for someone like me, I like working on 2-3 pieces at a time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you source your beads from? Some people will say, I buy them, I get them from abroad and all of that. How do you source out for your pieces?
Well, some pieces, I have somebody send them over to me, but many of them, I just go to the market. When I'm going to the market, I take my time. I will walk around first, check for what I want, and make sure that it's exactly what I want. The price is perfect, and, before I take my time.
Now, is there a certain kind of name you give to your kind of beads?
Yes, I do.
What's this called?
Oh, okay. Actually, this piece, I haven't named it yet.
Okay.
But this is called Cocoa Bay.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, it was...
What kind of stones? What do you call this kind of, material?
These materials now, we have sand beads, we have crystal beads, and I just use.
So this is the sand. This is what you call sand
yes,
beads.
these very tiny ones because they look like sand.
Okay.
Yes.
Then
yes.
these ones are the crystals.
Yes, these are the crystals.
What about this one's holding it? There's another bead I can see in here.
Yeah, these are the crystals. The smaller ones are the sand beads.
Oh, okay,
yes,
nice.
Yes,
so how long did it take you to do this?
Let me see, about 3 days. About 3 days to do the complete set because like I told you, I work on 2-3 pieces at a time, so I don't get bored.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, you know, fashion as its own is an industry. Yeah. Would you say the beads industry is on its own, or you have to, you know, correlate it with fashion? Because I know beads is fashionable and it goes with fashion. Yeah. Would you say beads is standing on its own as an industry?
Yes, I think it is. Beads are here to stay, and I don't think it has to be dependent on the fashion industry or dependent on another industry. It's on its own and it's growing, it's expanding every day.
Okay.
Yes.
Are there any role models that you look out for their jobs and get inspiration?
Yes, a number of them.
Okay.
One that stands out for me any day is Benga Artsmith. The guy is just amazing. Like it was the time I had to ask him, sorry sir, you are a man in a woman's industry and they are coming to threaten us. What's the meaning of that? I mean, like, wow, you know, but he's an amazing person and he's an amazing designer as well. Yeah.
Okay, guys, so not to forget, she styled me with this beautiful, amazing, and I'm, you know, just shining. Maybe she put it on my neck. I was feeling like a bride, you know, that feeling. And it's quite heavy, guys. Now, I was going to ask, because you actually said it behind scenes, do you think beads are to be worn only on traditional attire?
Oh, no.
You know, some people just have this mindset of, oh, it has to be traditional, I have to tie gele, you know, to make it. How do you tend to, you know, style your kind of beads that you make?
Exactly. Because of this kind of notion, sometime in July, August, I did a workwear series on my Instagram page, and I showed people, you know, how you could use beads to work. I actually did beads for workwear. So no, you don't have to use it on traditional attire. This, for example, is not on the traditional attire, and you look amazing, by the way. So it depends on how bold you can be, how confident you are about your person, what's your fashion sense
is like.
Yeah. If you like it simple, we have something for you. If you like it bold, out there, yeah.
Okay. Now, for your own kind of brand, what kind of brand are you building towards the beads industry? Would you say, oh, okay, for both kind of, you know, fashion sense, casual or native? I went through your page on Instagram. I saw a lot of beautiful brides and all of that. So what kind of brand are you building towards the bead industry? What would you like people to know you for when they think about beads?
When they think about beads, I like them to think about class, confidence, and style. So the kind of people that I work with, I don't just work with anybody, right? But I work with brides, I work with, you know, people who want to look glamorous when they're going out for occasions, to work. Basically, people who want to look confident every time, yeah.
Okay, so those are the kind of people you work with.
Yeah.
Now, what future plans do you have as regards your bead making? What should we expect from you?
There's a whole lot more to beads than just, you know, making it into accessories. You know, I recently started seeing that you could make it into Christmas decorations. You could make it, there's so many things you could do with beads apart from jewelry.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I'm looking to go into some of those other areas.
Okay, so for the young people who don't know how to start bead making, the necessary materials they should get, do you think they should go to school, you know, to acquire knowledge and all of that? What do you think about it?
I think that it's essential to get training for whatever you want to go into. You need to be trained in it. So if going to school would help them, they should. And then they should also take advantage of the internet. There's so much on the internet. They could Google for the kind of materials, but then they should also note that we are in Nigeria. So the kind of names you find on the net might not be what you will find in the market. So sometimes that's what makes people go to Nigerian bead makers and ask them, okay, so what do they call it here? When I go to the market, what do I tell them that I need?
Okay, you heard it all from Lois. The show still continues. We're still talking about beads making on the Red Carpet Couture show. Do not move a muscle. We will be right back. Okay, Lois, I know it's not easy doing business here in Nigeria as a business owner. What are the disadvantages of making beads here in Nigeria?
Oh, well, I think a major disadvantage is the fact that Chinese people won't leave us alone. I'm serious. Like, they come here and they do imitation of our styles and they put it out there for the public at lower prices. And because people see it at lower prices, they come and they're like, Terelois, what happened? Is it not the same type of bead I saw somewhere else? But then when you try to explain to them, some of them get it, some don't. So that's one major disadvantage, the change in prices, the kind of people who make it. Then another disadvantage is the fact that people are not willing, a lot of people, not everybody, of course, but not, the general public is not willing to pay high class for handmade jewelry. And handmade jewelry takes a lot of time. It's like taking a part of someone's heart.
So you say handmade. So is there another type of...
Yes, there are some that are machine produced. Okay. They are mass produced, and you see them, the finishings are whack, the kind of beads they use will tarnish after a while. And so because those ones are cheaper, people tend to compare the prices of those ones with the ones that are made from scratch by hand.
Yeah. Okay, now you said Chinese people won't leave us alone.
Chinese people have refused
So is it that
if
they produce kind of, you know, beads that are not durable enough?
Yes.
So it affects you?
Yes, that is one. Or they could use the same kind of bead for, like, example, crystals, but then the brooches or the accessories they use are inferior, and then the prices, they look alike. The imitation, they are perfect. I give them hand.
Wow. So when you buy them, how long does it last?
It depends on care and usage. For example, one major thing that makes silver or gold accessories especially tarnish is sulfur. And sulfur can be found in our body creams, in our perfumes, in our lipstick. So I normally advise my clients, if you're going to use your beads, wear your lipstick after you've worn the bead. And then take off your lipstick before you remove the bead so that you don't stain it in the process of getting it off your neck. If you're going to use perfumes and lotions and all that, use it hours before you put on the beads so that it has blended with your skin. If not, there will be a chemical reaction. And then after a while, things start changing color.
There's sometimes I've worn jewelry and they itch me on my skin.
That means you have sensitive skin. That means the kind of beads that you use.
So what kind of beads actually come with that irritation on the skin?
Well, I won't be quick to say there's a particular kind of bead, but I'll prefer a solution, which is beads like agate, beads like angel skin. Most times they don't have any irritation. Sometimes corals and pearls, because of their shape and their the material itself, it's not smooth all through. So some people will feel that, oh, it scratches my neck. It's the material. It's not. There's nothing wrong with the bead. It's just the material. But then some people react to beads as well. I've heard that complaint before. So.
Okay. Now, when wearing beads, I was just looking at your jewelry on your neck. Do you think we can mix match beads with this piece you have on your neck?
Yes,
how
definitely.
do you look like a clown and all of that? Some people just say, oh, I'm wearing a bead, I cannot wear a gold earring, it won't it won't come out nice. How do you mix match beads?
It depends, like I said initially, it depends on your personality, it depends on your style. So you could mix match this. These are jewelry chains, by the way, and you could put few beads in between and, you know, make it more layered or change the design. There's so many things you could do with it on this same outfit or a different outfit. Another thing with mix matching depends on, you know, the kind of cut of the neck. Is it boat neck? Is it a round neck? Is it a V-neck?
The dress or
of the outfit that you want to wear.
Wearing.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you're using this, is there a specific kind of occasion you can wear this? You know, some people will say, oh, these beads are for church or it's for birthday. I can't wear it to this place. You know, you think there should be specific cases?
I don't think that beads should be restricted in that manner. No, I don't. I've worn this exactly like this for a wedding. I can wear this to church. So it depends on you. You can style it up. There's no... Think outside the box, really. There's no box.
Okay. So give us some styling tips on how to wear your pieces. She actually has beautiful pieces here. Let's talk about this one. I love these earrings. This is like a, what do you call it, a statement kind of earring you wear. You know, you can you pair this up with a bead on your neck?
Yes,
or
you
something?
can. But
Okay.
you know, normally the rule of thumb is if you're wearing a statement earring,
Yes.
you go very light.
Very
on your
light,
neck.
yes.
If you're wearing a statement neck piece, you go
or even
gentle
don't
on the
even
neck.
wear. Some
No,
people
you could
would
wear
not.
studs.
A small
Depends
stud.
on, you know, your face type as well.
Okay, so do you just make beads for only ladies, or do you think
Bead making is, you know, sterile down to only women. You think some guys
Wear it, you know, we see a lot of wrist candy these days. So yeah, guys wear beaded jewelry on their wrist as bracelets. Some guys, very few though. RMD is one of them. I like
Yeah,
that guy.
he loves.
Yeah,
he
he wore. I saw that he wore a beaded jewelry on his neck. I just screen grabbed the picture. I was like, oh my god! But
You see,
you
it's
have
not
to
just
be
sterile down to only women.
But you have to be really bold in this our
Bold.
society to pull
Black
that
Magic
off.
also does that as well.
You said?
Black Magic.
Oh, yeah, he
He's
does.
always playing with, you know,
Beaded
beads
jewelry,
and,
yeah.
You know, you actually brought this piece as well.
Yes.
Is this for male
This
or
are
female?
for, yes, this are for male
Okay.
or female.
So you
I
do
have
for male as well,
yes,
for their hands?
for their hands.
Nice.
okay? So you don't, you're
Not
not
of that type that says, oh, beads should be all for women only.
No, 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 no. If you're a bold guy, come around. We'll help you out.
Okay, Lois, thank you so much for, you know, coming on the show,
Yes.
enlightening us about bead making and all of that. I hope you guys have learned a whole lot about bead making. But before you go, I know sometimes people buy even most expensive beads and, you know, they have issues with them or either they are breaking off. How do you care for your beads?
Oh, very important because, you know, it's one thing to invest in jewelry. You have to know how to care for it. So like I mentioned, the tip of your lipstick and, you know, sulfur reacting with it, that's one thing to avoid and look out for. But when it comes to care of jewelry, when you finish wearing your jewelry, you don't pack it in your box immediately.
Okay.
You allow it to air. Some of them, you might need to clean it a bit. That's why I said I like playing with angel skin because
There's some jewelry that sometimes my sister will say, bring tomatoes, let's, you know, I don't know if there are some remedies. You know,
yeah.
maybe when they are harsh or maybe the color is changing. I don't know, somebody will say use tomatoes. I don't know. Is there any way, is there anything we
like you
should
can use to clean?
Yes.
It depends on the kind of bead, right? So like for that one that you talked about, tomatoes, I think you can use it for pearls. I've not tried it before. What I normally use is just lukewarm water
Okay.
and a soft cloth.
Okay.
And you just put it, squeeze it out and you clean. And then you leave it to dry. Because the mistake many people do is they clean it and then they pack it. No.
So
you
it
allow
heats
it
up.
to dry, yes. And then you pack it much later. Yes.
So should we always, you know, keep them together or they should, our beads should have different, you know, something like this. You
Different
brought.
boxes.
Yes, like this.
Okay.
Should we always have, you know, this kind of boxes for different beads?
It
Is it
depends.
advisable to just keep them all together?
Well, no, not for all kinds of jewelry. Yes, it's not for all kinds of beads. Pearls especially, I don't know, I like pearls. So I like to treat them specially, tender, loving care for pearls, you know, but you could put them together. Just make sure that they're arranged and they're not, you know, all, what's the word, tangled up together. Because you see some people, when they open their jewelry box, they're like, how do you make sense of this? So you try to make sure that they are arranged and when you need it, you can just take it out without trying to damage something else because you didn't put it properly.
Okay, so it's advisable to just keep them, air dry them, clean
Yes.
them. Do not pack all of them all in a box. You know, they are like clothes. They are like every other fashion items we
Accessory,
have.
yes.
So shouldn't just keep them anyhow.
Yeah.
I've learned a whole lot on today's show, Lois. Thank you so much.
You are
I can't
so
thank you
welcome.
enough
You are
because I love beads and I've learned how to take care of my beads and all of that. So guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show today on the Red Carpet Couture show on R2 TV. I've had fun with Lois talking to us about beads. Do not forget you can always catch us up on our social media platforms. It is R2 TV on Facebook and on Instagram, R2_TV. Or you want to follow me personally on Instagram at MeJoyNice. I'll be glad to hear from you. Until next week, till I come your way, same time, same station next week. Au revoir.